Hi guys, I'm here at Derby Tennis Centre and I'm very lucky to have my hands on the brand new King Arturo Coello Pro paddle racket, part of the King Arturo range. It's the same racket that the world #1 Arturo Coello uses. For those of you that don't know who he is, he's a Spanish paddle player. He plays on the right hand side as his left-handed player. He partners a guy named Tapia, and last year him and his partner Tapia, they won 14 titles, including 3 Grand Slams, and went on a 45 match winning streak, which is a record in the sport. So he's an absolutely phenomenal player and deserves to have his own King Arturo paddle racket range. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my sponsors, PDH Sports, for allowing me to have this racket, to try it and to give a review of it. So let's talk about the racket itself. In the King Arturo range, there's actually 4 different types of rackets. The one I'm holding is the Pro, and that's the one that Coello uses. So let's go over the facts of the racket. It's a diamond-shaped racket. Diamond-shaped rackets lean more towards power and a little bit less about control. The weight of the racket is 375 grams. That's considered a medium-weighted racket, so it's ideal for adults. Potentially can be a little bit too heavy for some juniors. The balance of the racket is 272. What that means is that the balance is 272 from the handle. So the balance of the racket is more towards the top of the racket, making the sweet spot of the racket towards the top of the racket, imparting more power with a racket of a diamond shaped and 272 balance. The hitting surface is a hybrid woven. Hybrid woven basically means it's a combination of fiberglass and carbon fiber, which gives great power and flexibility. Now we've gone over the facts of the racket, let's go over the design of the racket. Now this is obviously more of a matter of opinion, but in my opinion, I love the design of this racket. It's sleek, somewhat elegant. I think it's a bit of like a wolf in sheep's clothing. I love the black and red combo, black and red is a combination. They always go really, really well together. You'll see that you've got Arturo's signature in red on the racket. That's a staple across the whole of the King Arturo range. You've also got a red wrist strap, which I think contrasts really well against the black. Now, the grip that I've got on here, it's a Vibe paddle grip. More about them in a future video, so look out for that. But the original grip on here is actually black, and that looks really well, looks really good contrasted against the red wrist strap. So yeah, in terms of the design of the racket, I really, really like it. I've just had a good hit with this racket and played a match with it as well. What do I think about it? Honestly, I think it's a fantastic racket. Now, it is a bit stiffer and a bit more head heavy. It is leaning more towards power than control. So I'd say it probably leans a bit more towards the intermediate and advanced player. It's not going to be as forgiving as a teardrop shaped racket or a round shaped racket. But the racket like this, if you put your time in and use the racket in which it's supposed to be used, I think you'll find it's a phenomenal racket. Definitely a racket fit for a king. So again, I'd like to thank my sponsors, PDH Sports, for allowing me to use this racket and review it. This racket is available at PDH Sports now. Follow the link in the description, go to their website, use my code REGGIE10 for 10% off all your orders. See you on court.